Have you ever wondered which Lancer would win in a bracket-style tournament to decide what Lancer is the best? Well, that's what we're gonna see in this video. I'll be putting 4 of each Lancer on each team because the game won't let me spectate, so I have to be on one of the teams. And I'll have all Lancers be on hard difficulty, and I'll put them in a best-of-3 game, so each team will play 1 round on defense and 1 round on offense. And if they go to 1-1, then it will come down to a duels. Now, with all that being explained, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And also let me know in the comments who you think will win the tournament. And with that being said, enjoy the video. At the beginning of each round, I have to shoot this fire at my feet just so I can die without interrupting any of the fights. The first matchup of the video is Jaguar versus Corona. And Jaguars had it as a 3-2 and then quickly got a kill on a Corona in mid, and they were able to get the bomb down as well. And one of the Jaguars got killed in mid by the last Corona, and the Corona went up to site and was killed by the last 2 Jaguars. Next round, it was a 3v3, and one of the Jaguars pushed up on defense and was able to get a pick off on one of the Coronas. The last 2 Coronas were in mid and were able to kill one of the Jaguars, bringing it to a 2v2, and another one of the Jaguars were killed. So the 2 Coronas had the bomb down on site, and this Jaguar literally just stood at the teleporter for the whole 50 seconds of the bomb, leading the game to go into duels. The first round of duels, one of the Coronas hit the teleporter and got absolutely beamed by a Jaguar. The second Corona also hit the teleporter, but this time they were able to kill the Jaguar. And then it came down to 2 Jaguars versus 1 Corona, where the Corona and the Jaguar ended up having a knife fight, which the Corona ended up winning, but it didn't matter because he was on 24 HP, which allowed the Jaguars to win the first round. And the second matchup of the first round is Nitro versus Broker. And the Nitros were able to make it a 4v2 very early on, and the Nitros were actually using their chug-chugs to look around the map. And the Nitros quickly made it a 4v1, and then they ended up getting a trade, making it a 3v1. But then one of the Nitros walked up the mid and was able to kill Broker for the first round. The second round, the Nitros were too focused on using their chug-chugs, and the Brokers were able to make it a 4v2 and then a 4v1. And the Nitro was spending way more time shooting the orbs and spawn than focusing on getting to the bomb. And then she got rocketed by 2 Brokers, and the game went into duels. The duels was pretty back and forth, but the first round went to a Broker, and then the Nitro was able to kill the Broker the second round, but the shotguns did not work out for the Nitros, and then it came down to 1 Nitro versus 3 Brokers, and she was able to get 1, but obviously she was not able to kill the rest, and the Brokers won that round. And the next matchup is Sonar versus Zephyr. Early on in the game, Sonar was able to get a pick off on one of the Zephyrs, but the Zephyrs were able to come back with another kill. And one of the Sonars were going up mid, and they were about to pull a flank on the whole entire Zephyr team. But one of the Zephyrs went invisible right before the Sonar could kill them and ended up getting stabbed to death. And then one of the Sonars tried pushing up the site, but was killed by another Zephyr, bringing it to a 1v3, where the last Sonar was able to get a kill on 1. And they tried to use their pillar to reveal the enemies, but it was not enough as they lost that round. The next round, one of the Sonars pushed up on defense and was able to get a pick, and they were almost able to kill a second Zephyr, but barely lost the 1v2. And then the Sonar and Zephyr had a battle up in mid, and then another 1v1 on A, where both Sonars lost, which left the last Sonar in a 1v3 situation where she was not able to kill all the Zephyrs, and the Zephyrs won that match. The fourth matchup of the video is Axon versus Chum, where B site was misty, so the Axons were able to go get a kill on Chum, but they brought it down to a 2v2, and then one of the Axons were able to get a pick off on Chum, and then a Chum was able to get a pick off on another Axon, making it a 1v1, and then Chum went to go get the plant, but was shot by Axon from mid, and Axon won the round. The next round was looking even more tougher for Chums, as they were quickly brought down to a 4v2, but one of the Chums was able to get 2 kills on Axons, bringing it to a 2v2, but then one of the Chums just stood in the fire, and they died, bringing it to a 2v1 for the last Chum, and the Chum swung both the Axons at the same time and was not able to kill any of them, leaving Axon to win that match. And the last matchup of the first round is Circet versus Kismet. And one of the Circets pushed up mid with a shotgun and almost one-pumped Kismet, but was not able to get the kill. And then a different Circet was able to get a pick on Kismet, making it a 3v2. And she could see where the Kismet was with her tornado, and she canceled the tornado, was able to get a kill on one of the Kismets, bringing it to a 2v2. And the Circets knew where one of the Kismets were in the tunnel, and was able to get the pick on her. And the last Circet went for the plant on bomb site, but Kismet shot her from mid, and the Kismets won that round. And the next round was pure domination by the Kismets as they pinched the Circets onto site, brought it down to a 3v1 very quickly, and absolutely dominated the Circets to win the match. And that's it for the first round. Here's what the updated bracket looks like as we go to the second round, where we're going to see Spider, Hollow Point, and Pathogen play their very first rounds of the tournament. And the first matchup of the second round is Jaguar versus Spider. And the Spiders made it a 4v2 very early on into the round. And the Spiders just held every single angle possible. And one of the Jaguars came from their spawn and got killed. And the other Jaguar came from the other side of spawn and was also killed. And Spider takes round 1. And the second round, the Spiders made it a 3v2. And I did not die from the fire, so I just went around and followed the Jaguars. But the Jaguars were in a 1v3, so they were going to lose anyway. And Spider won that match. And the next match of the second round is Broker versus Zephyr. The Brokers were really using their RPGs a lot, but the Zephyrs were able to get the first kill, but the Broker was also able to get a kill on Zephyr. And this Broker in mid was able to get a kill on this Zephyr, and a different Broker got a kill on another Zephyr, bringing it to a 3v1. And the Brokers were able to plant the bomb, and the Brokers won that round. The next round, the Brokers were in a 3v4, but this Broker just sat in the fire dogs and also died, leaving it to a 2v4. And the Brokers were too focused on their RPGs that it was just getting them killed, and the Zephyrs were able to win that round, bringing that match to a duels. And the duel started with Zephyr getting a kill on the Broker, but then Broker was able to come back with a kill on his own, and then the Broker was able to kill another Zephyr, and then absolutely beamed this other Zephyr, but was actually killed because he had to reload. Then it was left to a 2v2 where one of the Brokers was able to kill the Zephyr, but then a Zephyr was able to kill that other Broker, leaving it to a 1v1 where Broker was able to win the match. And the next matchup of the second round is Axon versus Hollow Point. And I wasn't able to get killed by the fire, so I just had to run in and get killed by the Axons. This Axon absolutely drilled two of the other Hollow Points, but the Axons were killed, leaving it to a 2v1 where these Hollow Points just held down sight, and then Axon eventually came through their spawn but was killed by one of the Hollow Points. In the next round, I was not able to die from the fire again, but I was able to watch this Axon kill one of the Hollow Points and then kill me, leaving it to a 2v4 for the Hollow Points. And one of the Hollow Points was able to kill one of the enemies, but it was a 3v1 and the Hollow Points lost that round, making it a duels. And the duel started with Axon killing the Hollow Point and almost killing a second Hollow Point, but barely lost. And the other Axon was able to finish off this Hollow Point. And then one of the Hollow Points was able to kill the Axon, bringing it to a 2v2, where the Axon was once again able to trade with the Hollow Point. And you never want to give the bots a DMR apparently, because the Hollow Point was not able to hit a single shot, and the Axon killed her and won the match. And the final match before the final four is Kismet versus Pathogen. And early on, the Pathogens were able to make it a 4v2, and then the Pathogen pulled out her knife to try to kill the Kismet, but was not able to do so. And two Pathogens came out through mid and was able to kill one of the Kismets, making it a 3v1. And one of the Pathogens got killed from mid, but then the other Pathogen turned around to mid and was able to kill the Kismet for the round. In the next round, I was not able to die to my fire again, and I was trying not to interfere with this Pathogen and Kismet fight, so I ran into the Kismet spawn, but the Kismet for some reason turned around to me, but the Pathogens had it as a 4v3, and then quickly into a 4v1, so it was clear that the Kismets were not going to be able to win that, and the Pathogens go on to the next round. And now it's time to go to the final four, where it's Spider versus Broker, and Axon versus Pathogen. And the first round of the final four is Broker versus Spider, where early on, the Spiders were able to bring it down to a 1v3, and the last Broker shot his RPG down A main and was able to actually get a kill, but then he got killed because he tried to put his rocket launcher away, and the Spiders won the first round. The second round, the Brokers were able to have it at a 4v2, in which one of the Brokers got killed on A site, and then a second Broker also died, and then a third one died, and the Spiders made it a 2v1, but the last Broker was able to actually clutch the 1v2 and send the game into overtime. Early on in the duels, the Spider was able to kill Broker, and the Broker was able to kill one of the Spiders, and it was just very back and forth for the whole entire duels. And then it came down to a 1v1, both Lancers with full HP, and the Spider ended up winning with 7 HP left. Now that Spider's in the finals, it's time to see if Axon or Pathogen will be going against him in the finals. And Axon's early on in their match was able to make it a 4v2, and then into a 4v1. And the last Pathogen stood no chance against 4 Axons, and the Axons took the first round. The second round, Pathogens pushed up mid, and were able to get a kill on one of the Axons. And then this Axon was able to get a kill on another Pathogen, making it a 3v3, but then the Pathogens were able to make it a 3v1, and this Axon spent most of the time that the bomb was down just running around, and the Pathogens were able to send it into duels. Starting the duels, the Pathogens were able to kill Axon, and were actually able to get 2 Axons killed before one of the Pathogens finally ended up dying. And then the Pathogens were able to get it down to 1 Axon left. And the 1 Axon had to fight 3 Pathogens, and he was not able to do so. And the Pathogens are going to the finals. Now with the finals set, it'll be a best of 5 games. So each team has to win 3 rounds instead of 2 to win the finals. And starting the finals, Pathogen was able to get it to a 4v3 and then to a 4v2. And one of the spiders had Juggernaut, so he was not going to die anytime soon. But it was a 4v1 and the Pathogens won the first round. Into the second round, there was early trades on both sides, bringing it to a 3v3. And then the Pathogen went to spider spawn and was able to kill one of the spiders and then bring it to a 3v1. And the Pathogens had the bomb down and the spiders stood no chance in the 1v3 and Pathogens took the second round. Going into the third round, Pathogen tried pushing up mid but was killed, bringing it to a 4v2. And then this Pathogen pushed the spiders and was able to bring it to a 2v2 and then into a 1v1. And then this last Pathogen saw the last spider, but she went for the defuse anyway and was killed from the last spider in her back. And the next round started the same way with Pathogen dying in mid, and then 2 spiders pushed up mid and 1 got killed, but then the spiders were able to kill the Pathogens, bringing it to a 3v1. And the last Pathogen killed one of the spiders but then lost, and the finals had to go into duels. And the duel started with one of the Pathogens dying, and then the spider was able to kill a second Pathogen before the Pathogens finally got a kill. And the second to last Pathogen was just looking around the map instead of looking straight and ended up getting herself killed. And the very last Pathogen did the same exact thing, and the spiders won the whole entire FragPunk Lancer tournament.